Good morning, guys. Good morning. It is beautiful Thursday, and I know I say that a lot, but it really is a beautiful Thursday. I am Trooper Steven Montiero, whatever else you want to call me, your traffic safety expert here at WKMG News 6. We are live in Results 1, cruising around this morning, and I'm going to use this cruise twofold. One, go get me some breakfast, because everything that I wanted to do this morning, the universe said no. Anything I wanted to do this morning, no, the universe said, over and over again. So you guys are going to go with me, and we're going to we'll gain a little knowledge along the way. So yesterday's patrol was really, really cool, right? We did all things SWAT, Special Weapons and Tactics. It was a really awesome time. Our web producer Brandon has already clipped it up, made it all nice, so that is available for you guys to check out at some point over at clickorlando.com. And I need you guys to know that too. It's not, by no means can I do any of this by myself. We have an amazing team that's kind of really at the command center. I refer to everything in military or law enforcement terms. They're the command center. I'm just the operator. Without a command center, the mission is not successful. So yesterday we had a few people watching. We had some engineers in the back watching that stream, and then of course our web team kind of doing their thing, making sure the signal stayed strong. And that was yesterday a big deal for me too. It was my very first time actually carrying a backpack, and that's what's attached to the car in the back seat that allows the transmissions to make their way into the cloud, I guess you could say. And so we had a really good time. Man, being around my law enforcement buds is always cool, especially when they're kicking butt like that. So great job, Titusville PD, Orange County, OPD, Kissimmee. Good time. Today, I like to do something big and then bring it back just a little bit when it comes to when we do big interviews. Always bring a little bit of the basics back into what we do. So that's what we're looking at right now today. So we're talking about what is an obstructed view for a driver. How do some drivers even contribute to their own field of vision being obstructed, and they don't realize it because they think they're doing something correctly? So there's a few angles we can take on this. I'm going to save the meat and potato for the last one, but the first thing we'll blow through it. Memorabilia, right? We don't see it now. I didn't really see it much in my time. I like to say that I don't think I'm that old, but I might be. The dice. Do you guys remember that? People would hang dice from their rearview mirror. If you know where that started, or you have the history behind that, I would love to know why we were hanging dice from our rearview mirror. So think about what you're doing when you do that. You're taking something 5 by 5 inches, right? 2 of them, and dangling them from an area to where your car would be kind of traveling to. To me, that's a really big deal, and we should be extremely cautious of things like that. I'm looking for where I'm turning. I'm supposed to turn up here somewhere. And you can't just throw stuff out there. During my time driving, so this might have been a Kissimmee thing, I don't know. A lot of people would put CDs of artists or where they were from on the hanging down there. This did 2 things. 1, it obstructs your view, and 2, the reflection that would come off that mess would drive me crazy. It was insane. And just imagine if you're driving around and you're going, oh, look at the puppy. That was definitely not a puppy, but every dog's a puppy to me. And it could cause not only a distraction for you or for somebody else. Imagine getting hit by a reflective or seeing some kind of blue or orange coming off someone's windshield while you're driving. It's distracting. It's not something that you want out there all the time. And then I get asked, well, Steve, can you get pulled over for it? Actually, you can. If a law enforcement officer feels that whatever you have there can obstruct your field of view, then yes, you can be cited for something like that. And there is a Florida statute. We're going to pull off here in just a second here inside the parking lot and to talk about it. We're entering the city of Maitland right now. Got some cars. We are currently traveling on Pembroke, I believe, as we make our way towards the location where I would like to get a sandwich this morning. Got some cars behind us. We're going to hit the cul-de-sac. Why not? Let's No, this is not a cul-de-sac. It is a roundabout. So we've done this too, right? I love it. All the stuff we've done. This is a yield controlled, so you don't have to come to a complete stop, but you should slow down. So I'm yielding. I'm here first. I'm going, and I'm out. I'm in. This guy decides, hey, I'm going to do what I want, and I didn't even look at you. Good job, girl. Doesn't even have her seatbelt on. Oh, now she puts it on. Love it. Oh, I love people. You guys are great. So we're going to come over here into the parking lot because I do want to take a moment and talk about some of the big stuff that I see when it comes to the biggest obstructed view possible out there. A view that a lot of people do unintentionally and don't realize that they are causing an obstruction for themselves. So we're going to pull over here just briefly, chat about it a little bit, and show you what I'm talking about, because I think someone's out there going, I think I know what Steve's going to show us. Other people are going, what the heck is he going to talk about? So, super simple. Remember, I said today's a simple day. Simple day. And tomorrow, Veterans Day observed. Gotta love our veterans. Oh, Air Force. Oh. It's the noises we make. We're weird. We're weird. I'm going to pull off into the shade so I can get some shade over here. And we're going to talk today's topics. If you're just joining us this morning, we are talking obstructed view by a driver. Can you be pulled over for it? What steps you can take to avoid having an obstructed view? And let's chat about that right now. So the first one we talked about, remember the dice back in the day? Those were interesting. I never understood that. During my time, I grew up in the Kissimmee area. The CDs were a big thing. People would hang CDs directly in front of them. And it was pretty crazy because those at the time would reflect very intensely when the sun and things like that. But when it comes to something that a lot of drivers carry in their vehicle because of their current condition, we are addressing the disabled parking decal. And that decal is fairly large, and it is required to be hung from your rearview mirror when you are utilizing it. My nifty information thing here. There are rules on FLHSMV's website for how to display your decal. So we're going to talk about that on what they say and things like that. So there are two different types. You have a permanent and you have a temporary. And you must display these things properly. And it does specifically say, I have a nice little example here today. Not mine, using it for example. I am not parked in a disabled parking space. I am parked in a normal place. We are simply inside here. There are no cars parked around me. We are not taking a parking spot from everybody. I know if I don't say that, somebody out there will be like, ooh, well, Steve parked in a disabled parking. No, I did not. Look around. I'll even show you. Look. It's nice and clear there. That's my right side. My left side's clear. Back side. Front. We're all right. So, here, on your disabled parking decal, there is something that is very interesting on this. I do appreciate this individual because they have a real nice spot to where you can just clip up and you're good to go. But today we're talking about the obstructed view and how can that really cause an obstruction? A lot of people would be like, well, it's not that big. Well, you're talking about something that's like 12 by 5, right? So about 12 inches long, 5 inches wide, in a place to where you've got to remember depth, right? So I did not become a pilot because of one point missing some depth perception stuff. And depth perception is key when it comes to operating a large motor vehicle, or in my case, an aircraft at the time. So when you have something like this sitting up in a field of view, it can cause an obstruction. So what I want to do is hang it. And I want to show you somebody I know. This is super simple, but I've worked crashes to where someone has said, hey, I didn't see that. I didn't see them in the corner of the road, or I didn't see them in the crosswalk. Well, what do you have hanging from your rear view? Well, I had my disabled parking decal. Well, that should not have been there, right? So what I want to show you is my field of view and what it kind of would look like in a situation like this. So normally, let's move over to it. Here, your field of view is pretty simple. But when you start scanning, things happen. And someone's like, man, that's nothing. But it's something. So what happens if, as you were here looking, your field of view changed and someone was actively walking in the area that is obstructed? So same time moving. You would never see them, right? You're here. There's a whole area that's blocked. This also does not give you good interaction with other vehicles because, hey, you can't really see them. So that's why even on this decal right here, I want to show it to you. Let's find some light. What does it say? Important. Remove before driving vehicle. So the big question about this was, can I be pulled over for this still hanging up here? And the answer is yes. If you were to leave this hanging on your rear view and driving, then yeah, you could be cited for having an obstructed view. Someone asked me a second ago, what's the statute on that? Well, 316.2004, obstruction of a driver's view or driving mechanism. It's very broad. So subsection B, no person shall drive a motor vehicle with any sign, poster, or other non-transparent material upon the front windshield, side wings, or side rear windows of such vehicle with such material obstructs, obscures, or impairs the driver's clear view of the highway or any intersecting highway. This is not transparent, right? This is material that is up towards the windshield. This also applies for tint. That's why we have what we call the AS1 line. Your windshield is a very protected part of your vehicle. They want you to look. They being everybody else. We want you to be aware of what's going on, right? So when it comes to having this, you must remove it while driving. Now, that's not to say, I've seen people take it from here and then throw it down there. I'm okay with that. The law is okay with that. But even then, I'm a guy that likes just clear vision. My windshield, I like it to be clean. All of the the side windows. I don't like any obstruction. The glare on that alone bothers me. But also, why do you want loose stuff out there? That goes flying, you're distracted by it, things like that. So, take it, glove box it, put it in the glove box over there, put it in your center console. You can make room and take it so you can place it somewhere else. Whoa, I'm making a mess. But you want to make sure that sorry, look at me, I'm making a mess. You want to make sure that this is completely removed from the rearview mirror. So keeping it out of sight, out of mind when you're driving is the key to it, especially if it's telling you to do that. A lot of people will leave this hanging up there. Look, there are a few angles we could take on it that I could take with you to maybe make you think otherwise. Let's talk about that. What about criminal element? You know, I got to bring it back to your safety and the law enforcement side. Let's talk criminal element. Who do the criminal element tend to prey on? Right? The vulnerable. This, to a criminal, could be a sign of someone who is vulnerable. So you don't want to advertise that. I'd say this to a lot of rookie law enforcement officers out there. The entire world does not need to know that you're a cop, right? But or a firefighter, they don't need to know this stuff. But yet, we get our first car, we put all these stickers on it, make it look fancy. You're letting people know what you do. Same thing here. If you're not going to listen to me about it being an obstruction to your view, what about people preying on you because you have a disability? Some folks, I don't know what was going on right there. This guy in that white Armada right there that's headed this way, honking his horn and stuff. I hope it wasn't for me. That was weird. Look, my spidey senses kick up, and what I mean by that, my law enforcement senses kick up, and I tend to shut down news anchor Steve, and I turn into Trooper Steve. So usually that stuff slows me down because I want to make sure we're good. So if you're joining us, we'll wrap this up in a sense of what we were covering today. We're covering about obstructed views, what we should be doing, why we're doing it, and how do we avoid it. It's always up to the driver, but what's really funny to me is it is so even clear on this. It says, important, please remove before driving vehicle. Why? It is not transparent. It is 12 inches long with probably about 4 to 5 inches wide. And this alone can cause a problem. Look, you can't see me, I can't see you. So it's obvious. Hanging this from your rear view window can get you pulled over. It would be a non-moving violation, so somewhere in the $100 to $116 with no points on your driver's license. It's avoidable. The instructions are on it. This would also apply for anyone who hangs crazy things from their rearview mirror. I've seen dice. I've seen all sorts of things, and it's just not the place to do it. So you can be pulled over, but the worst part about it is you want to be able to see what's going on. A dog, a child, someone in the crosswalk. This can stop you from seeing that if you are impeding your own vision. And yes, 316.2004 talks about it in subsection B. Breaks it down that this would be covered. Someone was going to tell me I know it already and I'm going to prepare the answer for it. Well, in subsection B, it does not talk about a disabled decal. Well, it also does not talk about having maybe a surfboard on your windshield or talk about having a couch on your windshield. Why? Because it's common sense. We're talking here, no person shall drive with any of a sign, poster, or other non-transparent material. Non-transparent material is your caveat here. You must be able to see, period. So I encourage you to head over to clickorlando.com/on-patrol. There's a lot of different content we're getting there. We're getting the schedule beefed up. We are entering the holiday season, so obviously we'll have some patrol days. We won't have some patrol days, but I can promise you, beginning of the year, we're going to hit this ground running. So for now, head over there. I really want you to watch yesterday's stream. It was an amazing time. My legs are sore from chasing these SWAT guys around with my camera, but it was really, really good time. And then today, if you just need a little refresher, or if there's someone out there, this is my favorite. I made a copy for a demo. I love being the referee with friends and family, especially with traffic topics, because there's a lot of your all's own ideas out there. But send it to somebody who may be like, well, yeah, I just drive with it all the time. Trooper Steve says no, and you could get a ticket for it. So I'm Trooper Steve, your New 6 traffic safety expert. Thank you guys for joining me today on this beautiful Thursday. Drive safely today. It's going to be a busy day for me. Got a whole bunch of stuff going on. But you just make sure you get to wherever you're going safely. Wear your seatbelt, and make sure this is not hanging in your drive view, in your rear view. Let's do that again. Make sure this is not hanging in your rear view mirror while you're driving, because not only is it dangerous, but you can probably get pulled over too. Have a great day, guys.